to say the biggest difference with the stories we tell ourselves has got to be just the years behind it, the experience, the maturity of the band, how well we work together. We just went in with so much confidence and a lot of lessons that we learned on the self-titled record, because we produced that whole record. I was the main producer. I did some of the production with our manager as well. And going into this one, I knew how I wanted to do it and how I wanted us to work together in different ways. So it was a lot easier on that regard, but at the same time, there was more pressure on this one than I'd ever experienced, just because there was a lot of expectation built up around it. Someone who's never heard us before, I would say, you know, it's a rock album, but it's not what you're probably imagining. A lot of rock nowadays, I think, is meaningless. I think these songs have a lot of meaning and heart and story behind them, and I don't know. I think it's very emotionally driven, passion driven. Even if you're not into rock, which it's not, rock isn't very mainstream right now. I think it's still it's very relatable. I'm not very good at describing our stuff though. Outside of that, you know. Yeah. Just have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I think Funny Little Creatures was one of the most challenging songs to finish. It was like pretty easy to start that song because we got going pretty quick. We worked with the one of the guitar players, Clint Lowry from the band Seven Dust. He came over for 2 days and we worked together on some ideas. That song started flowing, but then to finish it, we wanted to rewrite the verses. It just took us forever for some reason. But it was one of those songs that I was going through personal growth simultaneously as we were writing. And I think certain things needed to happen in my life in order for the song to really click and the lyrics to kind of all make sense. And then my favorite one on the record right now is probably Fade In, Fade Out. The biggest obstacle was getting motivation. There was a lot of times when I just felt kind of burnt out. I think we just done a lot of touring on the last record before this one, and I had come home and gosh, so much had changed in my life. Like before we left for the self-titled record to tour, you know, we had just been touring nonstop, and then we got signed, and then I got married, and then I toured the world a few times, came home. That was a bad idea, got divorced, and basically my whole life kind of just turned upside down, and I was just running on very little energy. And then we started going into another record, and I was just kind of like, I didn't know which way was up, kind of a feeling. It's just like 5 years had just gone, pow! And so when going into this record, I just felt really, just kind of my burnout and kind of lost. And so I was working through all that in my personal life while working on the record. So that was the biggest challenge. It pushed our boundaries in a lot of ways. For me, as a singer, it really required more of me to just put my heart and soul into it, because there was a lot of times I didn't even want to sing. And I just had to step up to the mic and every day hack away at it. It was that motivation problem I was running into, which has never been a problem in the past. I've always been a very driven person, so it scared me. But having to force my way through that ceiling, if you will, the song "Do You Really Want It," the first track on the record, there's a lyric like, give me a push through this concrete ceiling. It's kind of what it felt like at that time. And that song was like lyrics to myself. I was trying to sing to my own subconscious and trying to wake me the fuck up and slap myself in the face and go, what are you doing, man? Come on, like you have an opportunity, take it, run with it. And so I grew a lot on this record, mainly because of what was going on in my personal life, but just the challenge of having to push through and be professional and show up every day, that was the biggest growing pain.